Hello, my name is Trevor Birch, and welcome back to the Stories of Tricking. This is episode 2, and today we will be looking into the stories of Alan Davies and Ethan Turner, two trickers who push the boundaries of physics and inspire many trickers to challenge themselves and push the sport even farther forward. Our challenge in pushing the boundaries of our physical ability, the true elements of tricking? I guess we'll just have to find out. Last time on the Stories of Tricking.
I get to express myself freely, and it's just tricking for me, you know. That's why I love the sport as is, and want to continue to get good.
And also just like this constant evolution with tricking. It's just what I do, it's part of me.
There's more levels to this shit than just that. And it starts deep in the heart and reaches sky high. Hello. It's Tom of the Wild, and we're back at Into the Wild. And today we're going to be bird watching, looking at the kings of the skies, the birds. There are many types of birds in the world, but with the exception of ostriches and flightless birds, many birds use their wings and their tail feathers to fly and to steer in flight. Go! Hold the camera straight, please. Go! Move! 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 Do you see that? I think it's an ivory-billed woodpecker. Wait. No. It's just Alan Davies.
My name is Alan Davis. I've been tricking for about 7 years, and I'm from Cranford, New Jersey.
In 2012, towards the end of 2012 and beginning of 2013, I was in a karate school, and they were going to introduce a new program called Hyper Pro Training, and they displayed it on the TVs that were in the lobby area, and I saw them doing a bunch of tricks and flips and everything. So I already knew how to do a backflip, and I learned that when I was 7 from one of the kids in our demo team. He did a backflip. It's like, I want to do that. So it took a little bit of process to learn that. And after then discovering over a few years that there's more tricks to add on to a backflip and things after that, then it was like, that's the thing I want to do. August of 2013, I went out to San Diego at the Hyper Pro Training Camp, and we learned how to do tricks, forms, and compete for the NASCA tournaments. And that was actually the first time I competed in a tournament as well. So it all kind of just like glued together. And in between the time that I saw the program being introduced in the karate school to actually going to the camp, I learned like certain tricks, maybe like a 540 and a jackknife, and that was honestly it. Maybe like backside 9, and through that it was just like I want to go on YouTube, look up other tricks like that, and kind of learn in my front yard. So there's an open gym, or there was an open gym near my house. So when I learned that was on Wednesday nights, I would go and take whatever I learned from, YouTube, the camp, or whoever, even like Instagram, and I'd go and try it at the gym. And I met a couple of trickers there, so learning on top of what they were doing and learning the new stuff that I just learned from the camp and everything, it just all like it just blended together and kind of found the style that I wanted to learn. And even in that gym, I learned how to actually do a cork there, because at the hyper camp, I wasn't able to do it. So the weird story was that I gainer off my right leg and I cork off my left. So it took a little while to understand, like, why can't I spin on this side, but I take off on that side, and then I can do a gainer on this side, but I can't spin to the other side. Some friends were like, just try it on the other side, just go for it. And then there it was, just learn how to do a cork and then gainer on the other side. So I don't do anything in a school anymore. I haven't been in school since probably maybe winter-ish of 2013. But so after that, competing was something that I like to do. So competed at something called AKA American Open. And it's like, this is some experience. There's a lot of triggers here and a lot of martial artists who just combined everything together. And I want to do this. So the karate school, unfortunately, wasn't too fond of that, which is fine. So went our separate ways, and then in 2014, I found a trainer named Jeremy Epstein. He's in Flemington, New Jersey, and I started working with him. For maybe like 6 months or so, I didn't have anybody, but still competed. Worked with Danny Ekin, Matt Emig, Jacob Pinto. They really had a big part of my training, and they actually were the ones who introduced me to a snapu fight at 13 years old. So yeah, that was why the trick itself is so significant. But I don't train in a karate school, but I had these individuals who almost treated me like I was their student, even though I didn't train with them regularly, but they would actually take the time and, send me videos and help me out and just answer questions I had. But then once going to Jeremy in 2014 and starting to compete more, then it was like I have a karate school and a trainer to go to every week. And that's what really sparked more of the drive to compete and to learn how to trick more. And tricking was a big part of doing competition too. So you're always trying to top your opponent. So you had like very basic tricks, and then somebody would do something else, and then you go back. Either the next division or next competition, be like, I gotta learn that, or I gotta learn something that's gonna top that. You could express yourself in different ways that other people just can't. And even if you could do the same trick, everybody they relate to that trick in a different way. So it's kind of a funny story how it came into play. So when I was in a karate school, at the end of each class we would do a fun drill, and one of the fun drills was stacking targets on top of each other, and we'd have jump contests. And learning how to jump over these targets, I think it became like a secret base on like, this is going to be your foundation on how to jump when you're 13. And we used to do it when maybe like 5 or 6, and then just kept doing it for years and years and years. So when it came time to learning how to trick, it made it easier to understand the concept of blocking or just anything along the lines of how to jump itself, because you already know how to use the muscles from your legs to your upper body to your arms to everything else. So it's just making small adjustments from doing a vertical jump, from either running or just standing and then jumping. And I know that we did that a couple of years ago at Battle of Fury, so just kind of having that memory come back, it's like, I've done this before. I used to do this all the time. I think because you have constant goals for yourself. It's a mixture of long-term and short-term goals. Some of them you need to have the short-term goals and accomplish those in order to get to that long-term goal. You think you're done until somebody else does something else, and then you're like, oh, damn, I gotta do something else now. I gotta get back out there. So yeah, I think that's what like drives the passion, the people, and living to inspire the up and coming people, and even the people who inspired me. I want to do that for them and like bring something to them that I can inspire them with. Just be you. That's it. That's all. Just be you, and you'll do something that somebody will like, and they'll be like, "Hey, I like that," or send it to 2 friends, 3 friends, and then they'll be like, "Hey, I like that," and then send it to their friends. That's how you just inspire people. Just be yourself, and do what's right for you. Comparing yourself to others is very bad. So it's easier said than done, but don't do it, because you'll find what you like, and you'll have an easier time expressing yourself, and then that's how you inspire people, just by doing what you like and setting your goals that you accomplish.
Good evening, it's your host Royal Tom here, and tonight we're out in the wild looking for nocturnal animals and creatures of the night. Sometimes at night you'll look up at the trees and you'll see a fluttering of wings. It looks like a bird, but it's not a bird. It's some other creature that's breaking the laws of physics. It's a bat.
Hello, my name is Ethan Turner. I'm 21 years old. I've been tricking for 8 years, and I'm from Denver, Colorado. So how did I get into tricking? I got into tricking through Taekwondo and parkour. I did Taekwondo for a few years when I was like 5 years old to maybe like 8 years old. And then after I got my black belt, I stopped and then found parkour when I was like 12. And I joined a parkour team. And I joined a trampoline and tumbling team as well. And I did that for about 2 years and was kind of getting comfortable with the community. And then in 2014, that summer, I went to Camp Woodward in Pennsylvania. And Adam Davenport was my cabin counselor. And he showed me a UTL video, the United Tricking League. And it was a reel of a lot of his tricks. And I had seen tricking before, but this was my first interaction with like a real tricker. And so I was like super excited and really blown away by just like his tricks. And we sessioned a little bit together at Woodward, and I had a few tricking sessions before then, but I wouldn't really dedicate most of my time to paying attention to it. Up until that point, I was definitely like a practitioner of parkour. But in 2014, when I met Adam, that summer that really shifted my mindset, and after that, I definitely found myself putting all of my energy and time into tricking and learning everything I could about tricking. Shortly after, I went to Red Bull Throwdown in Atlanta, and that event was what really sparked everything, was because Adam introduced me to most of the best trickers around the world, because there were so many incredible trickers at that event. And so outside of just doing the sport, meeting the community was what really kept me in tricking, because as fun as tricking is, having such a supportive network of friends around the world to make sure that you're taken care of wherever you go, and to support you to do these crazy ass tricks is truly incredible. It's a community like no other. What fuels my passion for tricking? So I used to trick alone for the most part, and so a lot of it was just like this intrinsic motivation to just go do tricks, because more than anything, it was really fun. The harder tricks it was just much more fun to do, like 4 twists in the air, like on the spring floor specifically, more than like the trampoline or anything. That was part of the reason why I like just stuck to the floor. I got the most enjoyment out of knowing that I could push my body in as many different ways and do as many different tricks as I wanted, so that I could really express myself on the floor. I think what makes my style unique is that although I may use like some like perhaps like cookie cutter tricks, like I think of like some of my combos as perhaps not being as creative as like a taka. I also think that given my recent like progress in like the front swing territory and just utilizing all 4 stances in every combo, I'm always trying to at least throw like a semi, a mega in there, which I feel like are the harder and like rarer transitions than just a complete or a hyper. And they've also just become more fun because they are, I feel like, less explored. Like I'm still working on getting to like a really good missed leg double B twist and a really good missed leg like triple B twist perhaps. I think it's just that like I may not use the most creative transitions sometimes, but there's just like a lot of fucking bullshit that I'll throw into the combo that makes it just absurdly unique in the fact that it's just like, wow, that's a lot. Like I think of like the one combo and it was like aerial mega, missed leg aerial, wrap full semi, front swing side swipe, wrap full with like 3 gainer switches, double cork, punch half, double cork, punch half, double cork. And whereas I don't know if all of those transitions would necessarily be that unique, stringing all of them together in that combo is unique in that it's kind of fucked. But it's still, I think, always humbling to look at people around the world and to look at, most namely, like, Japan is on fire right now. I love everyone from Japan. I love Tiki's tricks in particular. But just, like, other trickers around the world that have, like favorite tricks of mine that they do better than me, or they can do tricks that I can't, because there's certainly so many trickers around the world that can do phenomenally better tricks than I maybe will ever do. And I aspire to get to that point because I think, damn, that's probably one hell of a ride. And I'm always still learning, you know? That's what I find is that for as long as I've been tricking, I only see more of how little I know about all of tricking, you know? Because you'll never be able to do necessarily every trick. You only have so many years, you know? And so you really should pick things that you want to learn and go and learn them and go and pursue those dreams because, you know, as much as we would like to say that we can trick forever, like you can't. And so you definitely need to make the best use of those years that you have while your body is physically able. You know, like I've always heard the analogy of like the floor being like the canvas and like your tricks being like an array of paintbrushes. And then I really just wanted the whole set. I wanted an incredibly diverse set of tools to use to express myself on the floor. And the more tricks that I learned, the more I was finding that I could really have just more fun expressing myself with my combos, given that I have just extra tools. And it also meant that if I get injured or I maybe couldn't work on a certain trick at a session, that I had an array of tricks that was big enough that I could make sure that I was always working on something different and I could never get bored. Even if I think I'm going to go into a session and have like a shitty session, as long as I just kind of go with the flow and just kind of listen to my body, I will be able to still have a good time working on new tricks. And even outside of that too, like I think I continue to train because it helps keep myself in check. It helps keep my ability to dedicate myself to something so that I'm not like getting lazy. I'm able to actually pursue other things outside of tricking due to the lessons that tricking has taught me. It's taught me how to be patient, how to really care about something. And so I think that's a really vital skill that tricking allows you to practice as well. It allows you to practice giving a fuck. Because for some people, and for myself, like before tricking, I don't know if I really found myself very passionate about many things. And tricking has opened the door, not only to so many friends and opportunities within tricking, but outside of that, I've also found so many passions. Like I found kendama. And I found, my passion for cinematography.
Does it twist and turn? Oh my God.
Through tricking, and now those are two giant communities as well that I find myself just completely absorbed in. I'm like, this is like one of the most like fun things. So now when I'm fucked too, and I maybe can't trick one day, I can always film tricking, or I can always probably play kendama or something. So like things like that I think are just like fun outlets that like have spawned and that are from tricking and that I think are very prevalent in the tricking community. You always find someone with a kendama, you'll always find someone with a camera filming or taking photos and practicing those other arts. So I think it's really cool that tricking teaches you to give a fuck.
Pushing the limits of our physical self seems to be only one element of tricking. After talking with Alan and Ethan, I learned that there's also mental lessons that we can learn from tricking. Two of the biggest lessons that I learned were to be yourself and enjoy who you are, and then also to give a fuck about what you do in this world. In conclusion, tricking is more than just hype. It is more than just pushing the physical limits of ourselves. Tricking teaches deep lessons that arm ourselves physically and mentally for the journey that is life.
For any of you newer trickers or just trickers out there in general, leave you off with something that is very important for me and something I remember. There's a quote that says, "Love the process just as much as you love the prize." So the process of getting to that trick, it can be frustrating, but that builds character. You'll get that prize and you'll appreciate it. But the process, you'll remember that forever.